Good morning, students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about structure and union in C language. Right? What is structure? The structure is a user-defined data type that groups variable of different data type under a single name. Right? Now, here different data types. Different data type is integer, character, float. Different data type is here we can have now integer, character, float, right? Double, like we are having now the different data type group of variable under a single name. This is important, right? So that is here the single name is structure name is, so here this is a keyword, struct is a keyword, then followed by one space, and then we are giving the structure name. So what name we are going to give that, and then we are having now the group of variables, right? So 1, 2, 3, like we are having now. So this is one data type, then member. The data type may be any one of the type, and then we are having member variable. You have to give now. So this is one record. We are having now that field. So this is basic method to write the structure, define a structure, right? Struct, then followed by structure name, and then we are having now the set of fields. And then you have to close with the curly bracket, right? So curly bracket, open the curly bracket, close the curly bracket, and then you have to give me one structure definition. So simple example here we are having now example of structure. The structure name is student structure name, where we are having three field, right? So three variables. So int id, then character name is the array of characters. Then we are having float the marks, right? So that is here we are having three variables grouped together for a structure name student. Then how do you define now? You give the keyword space and then the structure name, then curly bracket, and then you have to write the group of variables with the different data types, and then you have to close with the curly bracket and you have to put a semicolon. So this is the definition. For the definition, you don't create any variable. You don't create any variable. Now you want to create a variable, then how do you create the variable? Is already we are defining the structure. Then after definition, then you want to create a variables. So here you have to declare a variable. So S1 is of type, right? So as like that end is followed by variable, then this is a user defined data type. So struct student, struct space and student, this is the user defined data type. And for that we are having two variables, S1 and S2. So as like that end A comma B, here we are declaring now the struct, then followed by the struct name, and then followed by you have to give now the variables. So we are creating two variable, declaring two variable for the structure. So the variable is a group of fields, right? So where we are having now ID, name, and marks. ID, name, and marks. For S2 also, it will create one block of memory where we are having now three information: ID, name, and mark. So this struct student is using the definition of the structure, and it will allocate a memory with three fields. Similarly, here it will allocate a memory with three fields. Right? Then here, and also while defining that, you can declare that variable also. This also is possible. So we are writing now, then we are define once, and then we have to declare. Otherwise, you can define at the define time itself. You want to declare, then we can declare it. So that is the definition, and along with we are having a declaration also is possible. Right. Now, how do you access that? Each field is here we are having now S1 dot the variable name followed by we are having the dot operator, and then you have to give the corresponding field. So student ID is 101. Then S1 dot name. So for that you are assigning that one as copying the string to the particular array. So string copy is a function. So this string is going to place on s1 dot name. So the S1 you are already declared a variable where we are having that ID. So in that ID we are placing that value 101. Here we are having now Ravi, 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 and then we are having now the 95.5. So 95.5. So that is here ID, name, and we are having now Mars. ID name Mars. We are having the three field. Then the corresponding value we can access through the dot operator. So here dot, here dot, here dot. So here we are having the name itself is a overall array of character name. So that is going to be stored now. Right. Now you want to display the content. Then here we are having now this ID is integer type. So percentage D, and then here name is string, and then the mark is float point, right? So dot to float point is 2 decimal point. So that is here we are having that content is here 901 and Ravi, and then followed by 95.50 because of here 2 decimal. After decimal we are having 2 digit. So this is a point to F. Now here we are having now while declaration time itself we can define the value, right? So value for each field. Then if you are giving now, this is for first field ID, this is for second field name, this is for float marks. So ID name mark. Automatically it is going to assign now. And then here we are having now, or otherwise we can have now struct student equal to dot id equal to 1.0 here 101 dot name equal to Ravi dot mark equal to. So this is also we can have that initialization. It's actually old model, right? Now here we are having now the student. So if you want to have that three students record, then we can have now array of variable s of 3. So we are having now three records. So three record. First one is first record, second record, and third record. So s of 0, s of 1, right? Then s of 2. So that is here we can have now that it will declare, create three variable, the array of variable, and s1 of 0, s1 of 2, 1, s1 of s of 3, right? So that access using the for loop. Access using the for loop. So here we can, we want to print the content. This content you want to print it now. Then we are opening the for loop 0. So initially s of 0 ID, s of 0 name, s of 0 mark. Then once again we are incrementing, and then we are checking now that 1. Now s1, s1, s1. Then next we are having now increment, and then we are having now 2. So it will print the content is here 101 Ravi 90 with 0.2. So 90.00. And then we are having now this one as 102 Anu and 85.50. And then it will print now 103 Kumar and 92.00. Similarly, we are declaring the variable, then we can have the pointers. Then using the pointer also we can access this structure, right? So this is we are having now. Then we can have one pointer of type that student. If you are using the pointer, then we have to use the direction operator, right? So hyphen and greater than symbol. Hyphen and greater than symbol is instead of dot, we are having now hyphen, and if it is a pointer, then we have to use the hyphen and greater than operator for accessing the field. So hyphen and greater than. So that this is as like the arrow, right? So hyphen and greater than symbol, hyphen and greater than symbol, and then put the corresponding variable. So if you are using a pointer, so the pointer is now you are giving the structure the structure address is going to give now. So the total structure is going to be accessed through a pointer. Pointer PTR is a pointer where PTR is a pointer where we are having now. Then the structure is S1 is we are having ID, name, and field with the S1 as address. So this address is going to be placed here. So the starting address is going to be placed here. Then here we are using the pointer. We can access ID, and using the pointer we can access name. Using the pointer we can access the marks. ID, name, and marks. You can use now. Right. And structure inside structure. So that is here. We are having now the addresses. Address we are having two field, right? So city and pin code. City and pin code is address. So we are having the street name also. We can put it now. Care street with 50 characters. Street with 50 character we can have now. So the three fields are there for address. Now that address is going to be placed as a inner structure in the student. So that is here. Within the structure, we are declaring the another structure variable. Then how do you access that one as here? So this is ID 101 and 102. The third field is another record. So we are having the curly bracket and curly bracket where you have to give now the street name and then followed by the city name, and we are having now pin code. We can have, right? So here you want to access that particular variable with the inner structure. Then we are having the first top of the structure is student, and then dot we are having address. Within the dot you have to give now pin code. So the dot we require two dots because this is outer structure, then inner structure. In that inner structure we are having a field. Okay. Now here we are having now we use this is a, if you are using pointer it's a reference, right? Then here we are having the value in the structure. So we are having now if you are in the function call, if you want to pass now struct a student that yes, right? So yes is a variable, then we can access now. Then we have to pass by reference, right? So that is here we are having now. This is we are using now in that same one with using the pointer, right? Now where we have to give the address, here you have to give the variable. While calling that function you have to give the address, and the second one is you have to pass the pointer address. Address where we are going to then structure memory layout. Actually here we are having now, if you are having now that integer a 4 bytes, float 4 bytes, and character, totally 9 bytes of block is allocated for one variable. So first one is a, and first 4 a, second 4 is b, and next one. So 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 1 bytes, the total 9 bytes are allocated if you are declaring one variable for the struct example type. And also we can have now, you can give a total structure is going to give you a new name, right? So here type of struct, here you are not giving the name, and you are giving now that student. Hereafter you can use the student as a data type. Here no need to write the struct. So here you have to give type of is a keyword, struct is a keyword, and you have to start the structure. Then you are going to give the name of the structure. Now that name is going to be used as a user defined data type. So stored, and here no need to write struct. No need to write structure. Directly you can give the name. So this is the way of typed up with structure. Then next one data type is here union. So what is the union is here? Union name. Here the same as structure, but the important concept is uh, what data type is having that maximum size. The single size only is allocated in memory, and at a time we can use in that union we can use only one field, and we can store one field. The same field we can retrieve here, right? Then at a time we can use only one field, then you can use union instead of structure, right? So in the structure, for all field, it will allocate a memory ID, name, and then we are having now mark. So it will allocate 3 bytes, right? So in that case of union, if you are defining three or uh, four variables, but it will allocate which one is maximum size on the four variable. The size only is allocated. At a time, we can use any one of the type, and then we can retrieve that corresponding type only. So that is the difference between the structure and union. So union, we are having I int I, right? Int I, float f, and character size 20. So the maximum size, the only it will allocate 20 bytes because the character is maximum byte. So 20 byte is allocated. Then if you are using for the integer, then it will give now integer variable, remaining is junk. Right? If you are using for float, it will use for float. The remaining is junk. If you are using this string, then it will use the total structure. Right? So here we are having now. So the t1 dot I we are assigning, and then we are retrieving that one as also I. Right? Now you are using that, next time you are using t1 dot f. Now we can access only the f. So it's a common for all field, and so we can use one type at a time. So here you see this one. In that case, the structure is sum of all members. Here's the size of the largest member. Maximum is, so this is 40, 20, 4. So only 25 is allocated. So here we are having now that if you are having that, you are using that I, after that it will overwrite that one to 0. So that previous I is lost, right? So here that I is defined and used, and then we are redefining that one is the 10.5. Now the previous I is removed, and now we are having now the F only effective. Then we can have now the data. Then if you are having using that third one, then the previous one is deleted, so on, right? So that is here ID, price, name. So the name character only is maximum union. So ID is printed, price, and we are having now the name. It's a separate one. Right? So the difference between the structure, separate memory for each member, here shared memory for all members, the sum of the all member is a size, here size of the largest member, all member can be used independently, only member is valid at a time, then a record with multiple data, here data with one type active at a. So within the structure, we can have union also. So structure, within the structure, you can have union. In that union, we are having only one field, price or page. That also is possible. Within the structure, we can have now one union type also. Right? Then another one data type called enumerated. Enumerated data type is here. If you are defining that one, so it will give now assign that value 0, 1, 2. Right, enum data type, that data type, so that type is here int, float, and string, right? Then that value is here we are having now union float enum. So enum, here we are having now int. So the int is here. Int is actually we are having now the 0, right? Structured data type int is here we are having 0 and value of I. So that is here we are having that value of I is this one. So it's already discussed now. So we can stop here. We'll continue in another lecture.